Hello and welcome to class. We'll be considering Module 3 with the topic Planning and Starting a Fish Farming Business. The key points I will be considering include step-by-step guide from pond setup to harvest, developing a business plan and feasibility study, then capital involved in setting up fish farming, and how to sources of finance in fish farming. By introduction, success in fish farming requires careful planning, financial preparation, and a business mindset. Feasibility study is talking about, is the idea viable? Is it possible? And also the business plan is a roadmap for operation and growth. It's like a channel to follow for successful endeavor. Then also the capital and finance. This is like a fuel for putting your venture into action. Then the goal of the model is to bridge the gap between technical knowledge and business strategy for a sustainable and profitable fish farming. There are 10-step roadmap we need to consider from pond to harvest in fish farming. To ensure success, the systematic approach should be considered. And let's check through. Number 1 is site selection. This is very important. It means choosing where you want to practice your fish farming. Number 2 is pond design and construction. This is choosing the type of pond to be used, the size, the dimension, and embarking on the construction process. Number 3 is pond preparation. After construction of the pond, you need to prepare it, make it ready for fish. Number 4 is sourcing and stocking fingerlings. Once your pond is prepared, you need to source for younger fish that you need to stock into your ponds. Then feed and nutrition. Feeding actually takes about 60 to 70% of your operational cost. However, you will have a gain for it. Then water quality and pond management. Once you start, you got to feed, you need to know how to manage your water, how to change water when it's dirty, and how to manage your pond well. Then number 7, you monitor growth and health. You need to consistently monitor the growth and health of your fish. Is anyone healthy, lacking health, or do you need to adjust some things in order to make them more healthy? Then record keeping, please take it very serious. Record keeping is very important. Then harvesting. This seems to be like the last phase. The last one is post-harvesting management and restocking. So you don't stop at harvesting. How do you manage what you've harvested? And how do you plan to restock? So this roadmap are very essential to be considered for your fish farming. For site selection and pond construction, we consider some criteria. For site selection, please consider reliable water source. Is the site close to where you can easily get water? Then is the site having a good soil, especially if you are using an earthen pond? You need good soil. Clay and loamy are needful because they retain water, but sandy soil is not a good option. And also the slope of the area need to be considered. They need a flat and gentle slope. Then also accessibility and security. Can the fish pond be accessible by you easily? And also, is there security of your pond? So you have to consider it. Then for pond construction, for the heating pond, it's it is more cost effective and depend on natural food. So you have to consider, do you want to go on using the earthen pond, or do you want to use the concrete pond? The concrete pond though needed spendings, but it is easy to manage and control. The tarpaulin ponds are portable. They are good for beginners and those who dwell in urban areas. And the cage culture is very helpful in lakes or in dams. So you have to consider which all these criteria when selecting your site. Then for feasibility and business plan, feasibility study is talking about, is it possible? We call it is it possible test. So the technical aspect is saying, can it be done? The species, the system, the location, is it possible? Then financially, is it profitable? The, talking about cost, the revenue you will get from it, the return after sales also. Then that is the return on investment. Is it viable? Is it profitable? Then also visibility study consider market. Is there demand for the business? Is there demand for the product? And also it considers risk analysis. What could go wrong along the way? Maybe in the production, what could go wrong? So these are necessary to be considered before embarking on the journey. Then for the business plan, it is talking about how to carry out the job. Number one, it has to consist, the business plan has to consist executive summary. This is like a brief description of the overall content of your plan. Then the company description, you have to include it in your business plan. You have to include market and production plan also. How do you plan to market? How do you plan to produce? And also financial plan. This is important. If you want to partner with investors, you need to include financial plan, showing them your cost estimates, your expected revenue, and the likes. So make sure you consider all this to help you have a smooth ride. Capital requirement in fish farming. Capital refers to the amount of money required to start and run a fish farm until the fish are sold. It is divided into two major types. You have a fixed capital and a working capital. Fixed capital are the amount of money you spend on pond construction, on equipment, because they have a long-term use. You can use the same pond for years for different types of phases of your farming. Then for the working capital, these are capital amount of money that you spend like you spend without staying for a short time. Let me just say for a short time, and it involves maybe cost of fingerlings purchase, cost of feed, cost of labor. So this keeps changing. This keeps changing per cycle. For a low scale, that is a capacity of like 1,000 fish, you can need an estimate of 700,000 And the key cost component is in tarpaulin pond. We use tarpaulin pond, fingerlings, and feeds. So those are the main components of the cost. For the medium scale, that is about 3,000 to 5,000 fishes, you need an average of 2.2 million to 2.5 million, just an estimate. And the key cost component is you need maybe a concrete or an heating pond, then a borehole source. Then you need to acquire labor. However, for a large scale, like maybe 10,000 plus fishes, you need not less than 8 million, 8.5 million to as an estimate. Then for this, you need an industrial setup, you need high feed cost, and you need enough staff for the work. How do you source for finance? Sources of finance. The the first and foremost is your personal savings, actually. So when you have a personal savings, you pour it into the business. And the advantage is that there's no interest and you have a full control of your money. Then the disadvantages is it's usually limited in amount, and also it can have personal risk. For cooperative, you can source from cooperative or societies. The advantages is that most cooperative have low interest loan. Then there is also group purchasing power. However, the disadvantages is that there is possible mismanagement, and you can also have smaller amounts, you may not have as much as you need. Another source of finance is agricultural loans. It can be from banks, agricultural banks, banks of agriculture, it can be from Central Bank of Nigerian programs. So these loans enables large-scale expansion. However, most of those loans require collateral, it requires business plan and interest payment. Then another source of finance is grants. Grants can come from the government, from the non-government organizations, can come from foundations. And actually, it is so soothing. So there's no repayment required. It's just like a gift, and it often includes training. The organization usually trains beneficiaries of the grant. However, it is highly competitive. It requires a strong proposal. Everyone wants free food. However, you need to back it up with a strong proposal, business proposal. Then building your financial plan, starting up capital estimate, table listing all major costs. You need to table list them. For revenue projection, let's say harvest quantity multiplied by market price per kg. If your harvest quantity, if you are projecting to harvest like 4,000 fishes and you want to sell us at 1,200 naira per kg, your revenue projection will be 4,800,000. And for profitability analysis, this is a minus of, you deduct your total cost from your revenue, from your total revenue to get your net profit. So if your total cost is 2.5 million naira, you remove it from the total revenue and your profit will be 2.3 million naira. Then funding strategy, which source will you use to fund, and why do you want to consider the source? So this is just a brief about the financial plan. Efficient capital management. You need to start small and you need to scale up. Begin with a skill you can manage. Being a starter, you need to avoid a large scale endeavor. You need to start small, the skill that you can easily manage, then you now reinvest your profit. Also, for efficiency, you need to a controlled feed cost. You need to buy in bulk and avoid overfeeding. Overfeeding it leads to a very big cost. Then you need to keep meticulous record. You need to track every expenses and income to identify leaks. For efficiency, you need to secure your farm to prevent theft and loss. Security of your farm is so important. And also you need to plan for risk, because risk is inevitable. It can come at any point. You have to have a mitigation strategy for disease. It can be a form of disease. It can be a form of price hikes. So you need to plan for risks. In conclusion, a fish farmer is a business and not just a hobby. You have to spend into it and you have to hope to get more than what you've spent. So financial discipline is non-negotiable. You have to understand your costs and manage them tightly. You have to choose the right funding mix. Align your finance sources with your skill and risk profile. And combining technical skill with sound business strategy is a definite path to a sustainable and profitable fish farming enterprise. You can't leave anyone out. The technicality of your skill and the business strategy are very, very crucial. So you have to combine them together to have a sustainable and a profitable fish enterprise. Thank you so much for listening. See you in next class.